Well, this is a rerun. The first round, 2 months ago, September the 19th. There you go, like that, don't you? Tom Cousins lost 7-4 to Marc Fleming. That was event number 7. There you go. You like your stats? Take that and smoke it.
And Tom will very much be hoping that it doesn't do a repeat, because there aren't many people that have beaten him once this season, never mind twice.
Well, a very trim Tom Cousins comes to the table.
Yeah, he's obviously been doing a lot of work on and off the table, and it's paying off. In fact, he played both Fleming brothers at the last event. Marc Fleming was the one he lost to in event 7, and played Ryan Fleming in the first round in event 8, but got the better of him. No real jeopardy this season coming into the last event for deciding who's going to be number 1. This time last year it was all about, would it be Tom Cousins or would it be Stevie Dempsey? Ultimately it was Cousins. This year he's got an 18,000 point lead at the top of the rankings, which, to put in context, is 3 complete tournament wins and is as many ranking points as only 4 players on the entire tour have scored all season. That's just his lead at the top. So absolutely massive gap between him and the rest of the field right now.
Yeah, it's an incredible achievement when you consider the players in the field as well.
Declan Brennan's number 2 this year. Stevie Dempsey, who was number 2 last year, had a bad season, but hasn't quite hit the heights of last time round. What's impressive about Cousins is the consistency as well. The course of Ultimate Pool over the last 4 years, we've had a few players dominate for periods, but no one's dominated for longer than this man. He's got himself a bit thin on this yellow.
Well, just got that brush off the red there, which he didn't want. Now, as you can see, the yellows don't really go anywhere. The double is out of the question because of the red that's blocking the path of that into the middle. Just trying to look now.
The only shot you can really see maybe just get past the 8 ball for a treble, but that's not an attractive shot to be looking at.
No, that's... Well, he's even opted for the safety, didn't even bother with the treble.
Yeah, I mean, you can't blame him, because it would have been low percentage and he'd have been leaving something, whereas that way at least keeps control.
Yeah, well, Marc Fleming now, you're trying to look at where he could play safe and not leave Tom on a yellow. And well, he's going up the top of the table. I don't blame him, because I'll tell you what, it's tricky from where he's left him to get to the side. And oh, that's a good shot there from Marc. Had to play it, had to be brave and take that on, because, well, the red at the bottom of the table just he could not guarantee getting safe. And he'd have liked to have snooked him, but looks very tight with the yellow past the red into that bottom corner. Really don't think it goes. So I think another safety's coming the direction of Marc Fleming. Oh my word, he's cut it in there. That's ridiculous. That's a great shot from Cousins.
Played so controlled as well. When you see people going for those, so often they look like they're throwing their arm at it. When you watch the body language there, it was like he was rolling a ball in that was over the pocket.
Yeah, fabulous cut. I mean, well, this is why he's number 1.
Just had room to get through to the yellow. I think he's just about okay. The 8 ball does still go past the red. Just slightly hampered, which is what he's looking at, but he's quite a tall guy, shouldn't have any trouble reaching this.
No, he's well over 6 foot, Tom. The main comp there. The eventual winner was Justin Bergman. the US of A. Another great and outstanding event that was as well.
Yeah, it's been all about Cousins and Bergman, hasn't it? I think Tom beat Justin in the shootout, didn't he? It was two great players there. Tom historically hasn't been somebody that's dabbled as much in other cue sports or other versions of the game as some of the other top players, but he seems to have found a new lease of life. He's played in a couple of the American events recently with great success. Sometimes when people go off playing in other events, it damages their home game, as it were. But judging by the first frame, not so much. So, first chance for Marc Fleming. He had a great event when we were last in Blackpool. Not just that win over Tom Cousins in the first round, but then went on to reach the final, losing out to Craig Waddingham in the end. That's got to give him confidence. He was a player that's been known as a good player for a while, but perhaps wasn't somebody people were necessarily tipping to reach finals. Can't leave an angle to get into the ball top right. He's ended up leaving himself a bit more than he wanted.
He fell short there. He's got a very thin cut into the middle. It can be made, but it's basically you're nearly taking the paint off the ball here. It's that thin. Kick into the one over the bag. Played it really well. Great shot there from Fleming. Can he beat Cousins again? Be a remarkable feat.
Yeah, there really aren't many people with that record. I don't think Tommy's one to worry about. It's not like he's fearing that Mark's got the hex on him. It was just a match that Mark played well last time. Gives Mark confidence though.
Mark's
done it once.
Mark's a tremendous cubist. He's a really good potter. Not scared to have a go. Great imagination and vision for the game.
He's got this mannerism where he very often gets down for a shot, then gets up and resettles himself.
If it works, why stop it? And that's a lovely positional shot. Another Scott in form. And when we saw Scott Gillespie earlier, fantastic play from him today, and his fellow countryman is trying to follow in his footsteps.
Yeah, there's a big Scottish pool contingent, very high quality players come from that part of the world. See straight down that shot. Just wanted to screw back in a straight line, just didn't quite catch that straight.
Ouch. He sort of slid it across there, just want to, like you say, just want to screw back, and he's gone towards the black ball, and that is a disaster for Marc Fleming. He's going to have to go across the table into the rail and try and come back and cut it back at the corner. It's his only shot. Come back and hit it thick, and well, I mean, you'd all but given him the frame after with the last two balls left.
Yeah, I'd be annoyed with that as well, because it was a kind of cueing shot. It was in his hands. He just had to hit it straight, and he got it just off straight. And Tom's the last opponent you want to do this against. He gets so many off his own break. When you start making mistakes in open play, it's just really hard to keep the game competitive. Started out 7-2 favourite for the entire tournament in a field with 70 plus players. Shows you what the bookmakers think of him and how much money is put on him to win, which is hardly surprising given how often he does win these Pro Series events.
But the rare times, well, I say the rare times. What's his win ratio of events? Probably 3 out of 5 around there, is it? Do you reckon? You're gonna now. He's getting he's going on the phone.
I did have a stat.
I thought this was going to pop straight out of your mouth, and no, we're off back to. Well, that's cheating.
I'm looking it up because I actually this stat caught my attention because it was so unlikely, but
any stat catches your attention. You love it.
He's played or been eligible to play, and I think he has played in all of them, 46 events since he joined Ultimate Pool at the beginning of 2022, and he's reached the final of 12 of them. So he's getting to a quarter of the finals he plays in. Still early doors in this match. Well, he fairly threw himself into that, and these yellows have come out really nicely. None of them have found a pocket. Some players we were talking about earlier like to really control the break. Scott Gillespie, we were saying how measured he was despite the pace he was putting into it. Marc Fleming just going for brute force there. Didn't really do a lot wrong. Got a good hit on the pack, but just nothing in.
Nice control there from Tom. Getting right in the middle of these cluster of balls.
Yeah, I do think it's his control that's actually been the thing that's improved most over the last season or two. His potting has always been off the scale. His break's always been exceptional. He now just always seems to be in perfect position. Even shots like that, Callan on the 8 ball was inevitable. It was just the way he played it. Just got the exact right part of the ball. Just drew the cue ball out of the area to give himself a bit more space. He's going to have one shot to play. The left hand of the 2 yellows that are up on the break line. Just wants to leave a route through to it.
He's left himself a little bit straight there. I mean, what if he might take the outside yellow now and play with a load of screw left hand side rather than the one that's nearest to the cushion? I mean, he can take it and screw back to where he is and then play the outside one, but I just wonder if he'll play the outside one now, which he's going to.
Yeah, it wasn't quite what he played, but he's landed so nicely on it, and he hasn't got a great angle on the other one. That has to be the right shot. Just wants to keep travelling. Just about made it.
Yeah, I wondered if he might take this one first because a bit too much angle on the one down the rail. Come back up again. Now,
So
can he? I don't know if he can just sort of stop the white dead there. He's looking to see if he parks the cue ball sort of where that yellow is or just in front of it, if he can get through all that gap of balls and down into the one over the bag. This is risky because if you don't hit this bang on, you know, if you follow through like a couple of inches, you'll snooker behind the red. If you come back too far, you snooker behind the black, red. Or do you pump it?
you see there is a gap. It just wants to screw back just ever so slightly. Well, he's decided to play for the bigger percentage area at the bottom of the table, but had to put a lot more pace on.
I say he went for the pump. He wasn't completely confident, and I wouldn't be either because, you know, it's his first time out onto the arena table today. And he'd just be worried about the pace, and it's like a very gentle but solid shot you have to stop that white dead from that distance from the ball that you're aiming at. And you're looking at it now, and right, can Fleming just flick off the red, not the yellow in, and play the loss of turn, leave Tom Cousins behind the red then, so he can't see the yellow at the top. He played it further than I would have thought. Is there a gap?
Yeah, he played it a lot further. When he was queuing up, you were wondering what he was playing.
Well, I thought he was going to just sort of play like a dragwood side and just sort of bring the red off the cushion. Can't quite tell if he can get if he's left him through there and he can see that yellow, he'd be absolutely devastated. Not that it's an easy pot, but I'm telling you, he can get through. That's mad. Oof. What a pot! Now is he going to get a result off this red, or is he staying behind it? He's stuck behind it, so Marc's been a little fortuitous there because there's no way in the world he should have left him that long yellow.
You've got to say that's a touch unlucky for Tom. He's keyed that so well.
Well, he couldn't do anything else. He couldn't play any other side on the ball because he can only just get through that gap, and He's now having to play a similar shot that Marc Fleming attempted earlier, which is coming off the side railing, trying to get the black in the corner. It's got hello. Lost a turn, but the black didn't go in anyway, so it's not going to really make too much difference. It all means that Marc Fleming is back at the table with what you could have to say is a pretty simple finish.
It's one he expected to have, but he expected to have it because he thought he was going to snooker Tom and then extract the visit that way. As it happened, he had to rely on the miss. Simple stuff to do though. This is a great chance to get his first frame on the board. It's the case against all top players, but particularly so against Tom Cousins, who's just such a good front runner. You just need to get something on the board early on. Cold out in the main arena. We saw in the last match Carl Morris looked like he was using his towel to keep warm at one stage.
I'll tell you what, it's not warm out there at all, is it? See the hotel door at the front, the revolve one, it keeps coming. Obviously it's open constantly, and so the wind's blowing through. So many times, gets down, lines up the crunching break. This time though, well, he's got the cue ball not only in the pocket, he's got it stuck there by the look of things. A red and cue ball. So Marc Fleming straight back to the table, ball in hand. Just look at those reds.
Extension called.
That's what you see most players do, just take a bit of time at the beginning of the visit just to plan out the route. Nothing to do with the two balls at the top of the table. The only shot to play is just the transition from the ball over the top left corner just to get down for the two in the middle.
A little bit further than he would have liked, but he's just going to look at maybe cutting a red into this bottom corner and using that yellow there as a buffer just to hold the cue ball for the last red into the middle.
Just wants to get a nice direct contact on the yellow, he doesn't want to skim off the side of it. That's perfect.
Yeah, played that very well. He just this is a funny shot, this, because I'm not the black must pass those two yellows into the middle. You can, if that's the case, you can just roll this in, but it obviously does. I thought for a second there he's going to have to come off the bottom cushion and with a load of side on, but it can be quite deceiving from this angle. Anyway, matters not to Marc Fleming, and in goes the black, and he's now levelled the match at 2 frames apiece. Frame at number 5, Fleming to break. Moved him a bit sticky, had his leg in the air, and it's going to be dry. So giving the table over to Tom Cousins. Plenty of balls moving around the table there, Mark, and just nothing going in. Not very friendly.
No, and almost a carbon copy of what happened last time. Same thing, seemed to get a good hit on the pack and lots of balls moving, but not in the right directions.
Well, I'm pretty certain that you're going to see Tom Cousins try yellows. The yellow ball that's in the centre of the table nearest the black, that's obviously the main problem here for Tom. You get round the back onto that left-hand Christian's. You get on in the middle. Didn't want that kiss. I think what he's trying to do there is remove the 2 yellows near that middle bag, so it cleared a path for that yellow to go in there. But now he's just blocked his route there by flicking into that red. And look, he wanted to knock that red well out the way of that yellow. So now it's reroute time.
Luckily for him, he has opened up the ball that he's hit, and actually it's not a terrible reroute. He's got a few options still. Oh, that was a good nudge. I think it was a good nudge at least. I think you just
Yeah,
can see the one over the bottom right.
Yeah, you can just see through that gap.
There's a moment it looked like he was going to get stuck in behind that yellow that he's closest to.
If you can get through to the one at the bottom of the table, my choice now is to pot that through back and then play that dodgy yellow that's the problem into that middle, rub the keel into the black and the red, and you hold on the other yellow in the middle. Didn't like. Well, hello. Wow. I'm not sure that was the shot he was playing. Well, I'm certain it wasn't. There's no way in the world you'd legislate for playing off red and black. But he'll take it. He was trying to just guide through the gap then. Well. Lucky old Tom.
Yeah, it wasn't a big gap when you saw from behind the angle of the shot.
It was actually great vision we had there with the camera as well. To see that angle. Oh my word, where's he gone now? Plant only. He's having a bit of a moment out here in this frame, is Tom Cousins. Maybe he's starting to think back to September when Marc Fleming dispatched him. And this plant's got to be made. It's not a straight plant. It has to be. It's cut into the corner. Second yellow's going to have to come back off the rail and back out again. Okay. It's a little thinnish cut into the corner. It's all about trying to get on the black. I'm not sure if can he just dig this and get on the black in the centre, or does he have to come around the angles? He caught the knuckle. Now then, black off red into the right hand centre. That is all he has, I'm sure.
This is going to be quite the finish if he makes it.
But you could go either way.
And harder.
You could actually play it the other side so the black goes off the red and hits in the left hand rail and goes back as a double, or go straight in towards it. He's actually trying to play the cut straight. Wow. That is an incredible pot.
What a crazy finish that was from Tom Cousins.
Great shot from a great player. This is incredible. I thought he'd have to go off the red. What a cut.
So a bit of a reroute on the break. He went for the front ball break last time. He's moved over to the cut break.
Normally when something like that happens, he'll go and break and dish the next frame as well on top. So it's like a double whammy that comes at you if you're Marc Fleming. So thanks very much. Yeah, we'll have another dose of it.
This is going to be a tougher one though, because he's got a red stuck over the bottom left-hand corner and no red that he can go after.
He's that mean, he makes medicine sick. Well, he's opted for the yellows. Now then. Is he thinking of going? Well, he's obviously thinking of going game, but would he change his mind and just play this little loss of turn down the table? I think he would believe in Marc an awful lot. Just trying to see what sort of angles he has to play. He could try and play the skill shot, but I think this is really hard to play it from here. Lots of turn it is.
Had the luxury of that red tied up at the bottom of the table. Knew that he was, even worst case, going to leave Marc a shot at the top, he was still going to have that security.
Mark was trying to go very thin there and try and get the cue ball behind those two reds, and he's caught it thick. He's left Tom Cousins full go at this yellow into the middle as it wriggles its way in. Now then, does he play the little cut down the bottom of the table to play the big long pot into the corner? His long potting is just so good. We saw it earlier with that, when he had that half chance through that gap, when he snooped himself on the black. What a tremendous pot that was. And once again, he hammers that ball home. Thunderous pot by Top Cat.
Just such good cueing, isn't it? If you're going to play at that pace, you've got to really nail the direction. Just got such an all-round game. Don't see much of the shot making because he's normally in position, but even when he's not, saw the miracle of the finish in the last frame. Great long shot there. Normal service resumed again. In those kind of cannons, there's quite a lot of room to play with there, but very delicate touch. Always wanted a bit of angle, but not too much angle here.
He's trying to restore the old 2-frame lead he had when he went 2 up at the start. Nothing much to do with this, just make sure the pot, bang it in the top corner. Cue will just gently off the side rail, leave a straight black down in the corner. This for 4-2. Never looked in doubt.
No, that's the Tom Cousins that we've seen so much
Well,
of.
that's what I was saying earlier. Look, it's amazing how that pattern sort of rears its head.
Finds himself 2 back again.
I mean, these balls off the break, and it just, the poor gods have deserted Marc Fleming for the moment in the last sort of 10 minutes of this match.
Yeah, he hasn't had any luck, has he, off the
No, he's
last
not.
3 breaks? He's not visibly done anything wrong either.
No, he hasn't. Mark's playing well. He's basically took his chances, but he's just not getting any anymore. The tide has certainly changed into Tom Cousins' direction.
Tougher position this, but having played that first shot, not quite so tough anymore. Only got the one real problem now, which is the 8 ball.
Well, he's landed on that red that's just next to the yellow there. You know, that was potentially a tricky ball. He's just, that's now going to, surely he's going to get rid of that now.
May have an angle to nudge into the yellow in the 8 ball. May not choose to do that, but yeah, that shot has really worked well. He was obviously playing to open the balls at the top of the table. Slightly surprised he hasn't played that, given how nicely he'd landed on it.
This is the thing with Tom Cousins, because he's confident he can get back there again, so left it for later. Me, I'm a sort of, as an opportunist, and I looked at it, I thought, right, I'm on it now, I'll take it, because you feel that you have to. Whereas Tom's, obviously, because of his great control with the cue ball, thinks, well, I can get back there any time I feel like it. So I think he's had a go at moving that black then.
Yeah, he has. That's the first shot that's gone astray for him. I mean, he's playing it with such control there, he wasn't really even considering that he might miss the cannon, because he was going to be in trouble if he didn't quite get it as played. Had to bail out, really. That was just too high tariff to cut that ball along the rail. Not an easy chance, but a lifeline that he wouldn't have been expecting.
It's where you can put the cue ball where Tom hasn't got a sight of a red and there's not very many places. But this is the bit, do you then think, right, I'm going to have... going to just play a safety and let him see one, or do I just take on a long pot? And by taking on the long pot, you're going to leave the cue ball in a more of a dangerous position should you miss. And that's a great cut in there from Marc Fleming. You see, if he'd have missed it, he was leaving that long red into the corner, and you'd have put money on Cousins to knock it in. But now, what does he do?
Just the pressure of playing Tom. You feel like you've got to go for something positive, because if you don't, he will. Then you end up having to chase after finishes that aren't 100% there.
Well, I think to a certain extent it suits Marc, because Marc does like to attack. You know, he's an aggressive player. You know, he's not, you know, not reckless, but he will have a go. He's got a nice little angle here now, just to pop this yellow in and kick the black and yellow apart. If he makes his shot, I mean, this will be a really, really top-end finish as well.
Just wants to catch the edge of the black, not go full into it, because he'll be stuck behind it.
That's correct.
Just a gentle little touch off the side.
Ooh. Yellow must pass the red into the centre, just. Can he flick the red and yellow apart if he plays that? A bit dangerous, though, because you're playing half ball into that red ball, so it's a little bit tricky. Yellow into the top left. Just try and guide the cue ball down and have the black in the bottom right hand corner. You can just stun the cue ball down a little bit into that left hand side rail. So he has the angle. So that red ball's just hampering him. He'd like to have his hand a little bit closer, so slightly awkward cueing, but this lad can pot 'em, that's for sure. And this is a great finish from Marc Fleming.
Yeah, this really has been. These weren't by any means guaranteed when he set off on this finish. It was that shot to develop the ball that's tied up next to the 8 ball that has opened everything up for him.
Yeah, he's got some big stones there.
So it's actually 4-3. Tom Cousins steps up in frame 8. Sticking with the cut break that he tried last break.
Big explosion of balls there. Just that red and yellow stuck together, top right. That's where the problem is. I mean, because the rest of the yellows are all pretty simple. Cousins will be looking where he can find a yellow where he can move those 2 balls apart. Well, this is huge. He's taking this on. He's trying to send the cue ball down to knock the ball in over the bag. Oh, that's a great shot.
Yellow ball.
It's not landed ideal, to be fair, but very aggressive shot there from Cousins. Could have played the easy, you know, they played what a lot of the players would have took the easy way out and just played the one over the bag first and then tried to work the way around to try and move that one out. But to do it straight away was big and brave.
Another fairly tricky cut as well, made to look easy.
Still work to do up there with those 2 yellows stuck together. I reckon the one on the outside on the right does go into that top right hand corner, so it's about getting there. That was a nice bump.
Yeah, that's turned out.
Appreciative tap of the leg there from Marc Fleming over in the corner.
So just the way he stayed down there, if you felt he just went slightly further than he wanted.
He did. He's gone an inch too far, but it's still okay. Shouldn't cause him too much problems.
These last two clearances, first from Fleming and now from Cousins, have been absolutely top draw.
That's perfect. He's left the angle so he's dead straight. So now he can pot the yellow screw straight back through these reds and have the black ball in the right hand centre. There you see, dead straight. And back he goes. And this has been a very good finish. Right after a super finish from Marc Fleming. So it's now Tom Cousins. Restores his 2-frame lead.
Not out of it yet, Marc Fleming. Keeps slipping a couple of frames behind, but just seems to manage to hang on. Oh, that's better. The first time in 4 breaks that he's actually made a ball.
Yeah, he's got the keyboard in a nice spot there as well, so he's right in amongst everything there, and he's got a nice shot selection here. He's got plenty to choose from, hasn't he? Opting for yellows.
He's going to win this match. He's going to do it the hard way. He's been behind for pretty much the whole match. It's just a case of hanging on in there. He's good at that though. Showed good tenacity so far. Hasn't let his own level drop. He's got to be buoyed by the confidence of getting to the final. Last time we were in Blackpool, see, everyone was talking about the win over Tom Cousins, but it was really what came after that was impressive. Marc carried on batting for another day and a half after that.
Well, I've seen him play quite a lot in the last sort of couple of years and so on. I think he's a little underrated, Marc Fleming. I'm always quite impressed with him. I think he plays a nice aggressive way around the table. He's got great vision and imagination for some high-end shots, you know, like cannons and things like that. He sees everything very well, and he's a tremendous potter.
Yeah, I agree with you about the underrated part. With that run last time, he's got himself inside the top 32, which is ahead of a lot of big-name players that maybe you'd be quick to praise ahead of Marc, but actually he's just quietly going about his business. He's going about it well again in this frame.
But he doesn't play with the fear. He's one of the players that, you know, he's not bothered about who he's playing. That showed when he beat him the last time. You know, if you're a top 3 or top 5 player and you're getting Marc Fleming in last 32 matches, you think, oh, I don't really want him. You know, you can bat him around a bit. He's not going to go away. He's going to keep going, and you know, he's such a dangerous player. You know, and if he continues playing like this, you know, in his own right, he could get into the top 10. There's no question. That's
Yeah.
5-4.
Like with so many players, it's just about doing it on a regular basis.
Race to 7. 12 minutes and a little bit of change left on the clock. The Cousins smash as he made a ball. The red saves him there. Marc Fleming went to get out of his chair then. He was up, or half up. Now then, starting ball. Straight away you look at reds and think they're the easiest, but it's getting the first pot away. Got the ball over the bag, but you're like not to take that now. Just wriggles it in. My original, when he broke, I thought that was a little bit tighter than it was. A bit thinner, should I say. So as you just sort of gaze around the reds, you immediately look at the one that's in the cluster. There's the potential banana skin.
It's like the fact that both playing well is helping them to lift each other's level. Although Tom Cousins has been ahead the whole way through this match, you can see his opponent racing quickly behind him.
He's going to try and move this. Oof. Very nicely done there from Cousins, and that makes things, or life should I say, a lot easier for Cousins.
Yeah, it does. He's still got a shot to play though, because the ball's in an open position, but it's not in a super easy position to land on, so he's got to make sure he gets good shape before he's coming around to check where he wants the cue ball.
He's a bit short. He's trying to lean that ball to come down just a little bit further. He'd have loved to have been sort of straight onto the red so you could pot it into the bottom left-hand corner and just have those two reds and the black. But now he's going to pull out a decent pot here. Not only that, he's got to get some good position. And you just heard the little bell go there for 15 seconds of shot. And as he played his shot there, he just clipped that yellow ball, and now he's made it. Well, that has to be moved now. It goes nowhere.
Yeah, uncharacteristic that. That's the first really unexpected positional error we've seen. Straight back into it though.
Oof.
Well, it's almost perfect. As it is, it's landed awkward.
Well, I'm looking at, does that surely doesn't double into the corner through the gap of the yellows?
Well, he may have to try it, because what else has he got?
Oh, it does. Oh my goodness. That's ridiculous. Oh, that is incredible. Tom Cousins take a bow. This is an absolutely ridiculous finish if he gets this black. Oh my word. Ouch.
Right.
That's me throwing the towel at him. I'm out the arena, I'm in a taxi. See you later. I'm not having any more of that. When he moved that red, I looked and I thought, straight away I thought, well, the only place if it goes through that gap and it's really tight, and wow. But undeterred, that's a fair old wallop he's giving those balls. So some of that will be frustration from having to watch suffer the pain that Tom Cousins was dishing out in that last frame.
Well, it's all happening quickly now. We're into the last 10 minutes of the match, so down to a 15-second shot clock. 4 balls in off the break for Fleming though, so that helps his cause. Still got plenty of time. They've been playing this at a quick pace. 8.5 minutes remaining. Maximum of 3 remaining frames.
He's a bit short, or is he? Yes, he is slightly, but that's just enough. We can nick this into the middle bag. Play this with a load of right-hand side and drag and try and kill the cue ball. Just kills it off the rails and holds it for the other ball at the bottom.
Oh, that's tough. He just underdid that previous shot, as you say. It was having to load up with so much side, it made the pot missable.
Yeah, he's clipped it too thin. Cousins could pot this yellow that he's next to.
He would have been on the other red as well if that ball had dropped.
Now these aren't simple, but this is where Cousins comes into his own. He'd like an angle on that so he could screw into it, knock the yellow off the rail, or even knock it into that red and pot them in the same shot and open it right up. He doesn't have it though. Now then, lost a turn. He's just looking now what he's going to leave, because he's going to play the yellow onto the red, knock that red in over the middle bag, leave the cue ball tight on the cushion, snookered by the 2 yellows in the middle of the table.
And what he's going to leave is a very all or nothing situation for Marc Fleming. He's got to pot this red really. Anything else is unlikely to be much good for him. So coming twice across the table, looking to make the red bottom right. Oh, that's a decent effort. Not quite though.
Yeah, and what he's left is the yellows, the simple tap into the middle, and also guaranteed position to get on the other yellow into the other middle and bring the cue ball down into his bottom rail position, where you know pretty much Cousins will finish off the match. He's stunned the cue ball. He stopped it dead. Now, has he? I mean, I'd have rolled that in to make sure I had the angle. I think he slightly has it. Big pocket in the corner.
Well, it's been good quality finish after good quality finish. Pool has been played in this match.
Yeah, Cousins has been sublime.
Cousins has been sublime. Marc Fleming's been pretty good himself. Had a couple of real highlights, real clearances. But ultimately, Tom Cousins just had too much. It's number 1. He's guaranteed top spot in the rankings. And he's going to carry on. Puts his place in the last 16. Marc Fleming, that's his Pro Series 9 done. He'll be back in action with Pro Series 10 on Saturday.